Welcome back, my nature lovers. How are we all doing today? For those of you returning for another one of my videos, I want to say thank you. And as well as those of you who are new to my channel, this is Skelly by Nature. I am Skelly, and I welcome you as well. In today's video, I'd like to show you something that is very common around here up in the eastern part of North America. These are found about all around the world in different areas. So you might have one just like me, sitting right here in my backyard. And what is that I'm talking about? This is a mulberry tree. And again, this is sometimes the one thing about foraging that I find. The more foraging you do, the more you kind of stop and smell the roses, or in this case, stop and taste the berries. Because, when you start getting into foraging, one of the things that I've learned to do is as I'm walking around places, I just sit there and identify things. And if there's something I don't know, I try to find out or figure out what it is, and if there's any good purpose or use for it. So, for instance, this is a great example. We have these trees, like I said, scattered all over the place. They're not, it's not something around here. You're not gonna go apple, like you're going apple picking, or you're gonna go pick for berries. You're not gonna find farms of these. These are trees that are kind of almost like a weed. They are considered invasive in many spots of the world. But like I said, they're found all over the place: South America, North America, Europe, Asia. They're all over the place. And these are what we call a mulberry tree. And so, give you a little bit of information on a mulberry tree. There's three different basic types of a mulberry tree. You have red, you have white, and you have black. I'm actually standing in front of a black mulberry. And these are a very fast-growing tree when they're young. As they get a little closer to maturity, they kind of slow down a little bit. The other thing about these trees is, if you do plant one, they're nice to plant in your yard. They're not a huge tree. They don't grow very large. But like the advantage is every mid-July to August, you're gonna have a wonderful fruit, because that's when they fruit, is kind of mid-July. We are here in the first week of July, and we're starting to get where they're starting to ripen. We've already, me and the neighborhood kids have already picked a couple off. But as far as, the real ripened part of these will come probably in another week or two. So one of the things that we do, if you're looking for a mulberry bush, one of the first signs is the berries. One way of identifying them is they do have a small little berry. The berry is very similar to like a raspberry or a blackberry, and these ones are a pinkish or a red. They will go into a dark or a deep purple or a black color. Another way of identifying these that makes them unique is they are a tree that actually has two different types of leaf formations. And what I mean by that is some of the early leaves you can see have kind of a lobed, I don't know if you can see it, but their early leaves kind of are just lobed. And then as you get into the later growths of the tree, they have what you call a serrated. This tree here sometimes springs off in this 3, 4, 5 fingers. So they're a serrated leaf. The leaves do come off in an alternating, so you'll have one on one side, and then one comes off a little further down on the other side. So they're not, next to each other. They kind of alternate sides. So, and the other thing too is if you're looking for one and it's still early in the season and you're trying to find one and they're still in there and you're not sure, Immature berries tend to be either white, green, or yellow. These are kind of green. They change to a pink, and then they're going to start to go, like I said, to a deep purple. So the nice thing about these berries is we've all heard of mulberries, most likely. We've heard of different things like Mulberry Pie, and you might have heard them in old nursery rhymes and different stories, and they were very popular if you're into any type of Native American. They were used widely with Native Americans. So the nice thing about the mulberry berries themselves, the tree itself isn't edible, the leaves aren't edible. Basically only the mulberries are, the berries themselves. You do have to make sure to, obviously pick them when they're ripe, because they can have a little bit of toxicity when they are not ripe. So you got to be careful of that. They will cause nausea, little cause of hallucinogenics. So the one nice thing about the berries is they do carry some good sources of nutrition. Basically, like any other berry, they are loaded in antioxidants and vitamins and minerals. And like most berries, they contain 88% water. So the nutrition mostly comes in the water, 10% carbohydrate, and about 1% of protein, and then there's a 1% of what we call multivitamins and minerals. So, like I said, they do carry 44% of the daily vitamin recommendation for vitamin C. They're also carry about 14% of the iron we need for the day. So, which is a little different. So the one thing about these two, the different uses that we can get out of this, obviously being a berry, we can use them in any way you would a berry. So something like pies or a tart or a dessert, they're good for. They've also been known, people have been known to use them to make wines out of them, as well as crushing them down and using them in tea can be one way. You can use them to make a nice jam. Same thing, like I said, any type of berry, you just give it a good jam. I have actually in the past have made ice cream out of them. I do a homemade ice cream, incorporate them into take a vanilla recipe, make it, and then when you're ready to add your pieces or your flavoring or your candy parts, you would put the berries in and blend it right into a vanilla, and you come up with a nice mulberry ice cream. If you're a person who likes to make sherbets or any type of like an Italian ice as well, these are very good to use. So, like I said, this is a tree that we find here in North America in the Northeast. They are common. We do find them around. They tend to kind of be in spots where you find kind of a weedy situation. They are kind of a weed, so very forest type. And as well as you find them on sides of the road, people's houses and things like that. So keep your eye out. This is a great plant. I hope you guys get to find one somewhere, and if you do, take some time and pull off a berry and taste them. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope I've given you some good information, maybe turned your eye onto something new and different, but that's been here for many, many years. And I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Do me a favor, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe. It'll help me out, as well as share this video with other friends and family that you think will enjoy this. So until the next video, be beautiful, be awesome.